We want to do something that will chisel our name in the same stone as some of the best whiskey makers in the world.
Woo! We're making the finest run of liquor that the backwoods has ever seen. I just ain't got no words for this.
This is how we make the moonshine.
What are you doing, Puss? We're going to try our best to make us a legacy whiskey that's traditional Appalachia in a jar.
We need to really make the most top shelf corn whiskey we can ever make. We want to make it an unaged liquor that you taste the raw product. Locally sourced ingredients, we're looking at doing limited runs, 1, maybe 2 a year. We want people to know we're competing with the folks that make the $2,000 bottles of liquor. I've got a grain bill I'm throwing around in my head. White corn, about 80 pounds per barrel, and about 20 pound malted 6-row barley. Just plain old-fashioned backwoods liquor when somebody couldn't afford no sugar. We feel like that this recipe that we're gonna use for our legacy liquor, that encompasses all the struggles and all the successes that our predecessors in this craft had to endure. They didn't have it as good as we did. They didn't have sugar that would boost their volume, but their liquor was better. So that's the era we're going back to.
Can we make it a little higher proof? I'd like to make it somewhere around 120 proof.
Yeah, you can go a little higher on proof when you're all grain. It don't get as fiery.
In the backwoods liquor business, 100 proof is the benchmark, but we feel that the quality of the ingredients that we're going to use, it should drink like 90 proof. Mark and Digger's Mountain Legacy Liquor.
This recipe showcases what we've been taught over the years. It may be the greatest recipe we've had so far.
You've been awake all night thinking about this, ain't you?
No, I wasn't thinking about much at all when I was drinking all that liquor. Let's go look us over a spot, y'all, too.
There we go.
It looks kind of pretty right here.
I tell you what, Puss, it's been a minute since me and you got together to make another run of liquor, ain't it?
Me and Mark are back to my old farm here. I've got a good limestone sprig on it.
Right in here, just mash
Be
it
an
in.
outstanding spot.
We've got our ingredients. We're going to mash in this all-grain legacy whiskey that we're going to make.
It's a known fact that limestone water makes the best liquor on the planet. If you'll turn some gas on, I'll baby light that fire.
Okay. Oh, that looks good.
Everything we put in our liquor, we source right here in our state of Tennessee. We do go to great extent to find the best corn.
I'll let you adjust the grind where you like it. Digger likes what he calls a coarse grit grain.
Let her go see what she do. When it comes to corn, especially because corn has so much sugar, if you get it too fine, it'll clump up and you've got a corn cake. If it's too thick, you can't cook all the carbs out of it. You have to pay attention to your grind or you're not going to get good flavor out of your grain. Then we'll move on to that malted barley.
You know, by cooking this corn longer and at a hotter temperature, this is part of the game changer that's going to create this legacy whiskey. We want to cook out the starches. The more of them that you cook out, the more fermentable goodie that you get out of the corn that creates sugar. And then that gives the yeast something to enjoy and turn into alcohol. Ain't it been good out here? It's just me and you like the old days.
I'll be honest with you, I feel a tiny bit kind of revitalized. You know, Mark and I, we've made a lot of liquor out of a lot of different things, but we've come to realize now with this recipe, simpler is better. That's cooking. Now look how thick it's getting now.
Yeah, I know it.
So we've eliminated the sugar. We're back to all grain, and that gives us more flavor. It's the purest form of liquor, and it's the way our predecessors started this craft.
Let's grind that barley. Now this is 6-row. What's the difference in 2-row and 6-row?
There's 6 rows of grain on each side of the 6-row.
Okay.
Now, 2-row is just 2 sprout mounds.
Okay.
But the thing about 6-row barley, it's got 10 times more amylase content in it, so its diastatic power is higher.
Okay.
So we're getting more of what we need to help break this grain down in 6-row.
Hence more flavor.
Yep. The flavor we're gonna get just because that little bitty tiny sprout, that's what's gonna set this liquor apart. That's why we need 6-row.
Okay. Now, does this grind about the same grind?
It'll be a little bit finer than the corn. If everything works out right, Hattie, this 20% to 80% ratio, that's going to balance it out just fine.
Right.
Now, this ought to start with corn, have barley, that nice earthy note in there in the middle, and then finish off sweet again. If that's what we get, then that's what's going to make this 120 proof liquor drink like 90 proof. That and the fact we're going to charcoal filter it.
Oh, wow. Where we at there, Dumpling?
143 and just a little bit of change. That's good enough to be dumping that barley in there.
It's very important to add the barley at the right temperature. If you add it too hot, it will kill the natural enzymes that's on the malted barley. That's smelling so good, ain't it?
Oh, I'm telling you. And we're making, hopefully, the finest run of liquor that the backwoods has ever seen. It's right.
It's the right temperature.
It's still pretty warm.
It is warm.
It's bathwater warm. This legacy liquor, the grain bill in it, hopefully will secure us a seat at the table with the greats. So now that the mash has cooled down, the enzymes have broke the sugars down into smaller chains. It's down to about 90 degrees. We're going to put just regular old bread yeast in here because that's all our predecessors would have had access to.
That ought to be pretty good right
That
there.
ought to do it. It works just fine, and it does have a unique flavor. Taste that.
Boy, it's soured, ain't it?
Now all we got to do is let Mother Nature do her work, produce us a little alcohol. We'll come cook it out of the mash in a few days. I kind of feel a little revitalized, I promise you.
Mountain Legacy Corn Whiskey Bowl.
Here we go.
How we doing?
I'm making it my best buddy on the whole damn planet. How could it be any better?
Boy, it smells good, Puss.
I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Mountain Legacy Corn Whiskey. You know, Old Digger and I, we're really excited today. We're down here, we're checking the mash for the all-grain Legacy whiskey. I'm telling you one thing, there's some damn alcohol in it, too.
It's got plenty of alcohol. Hell, it's loaded up.
I love it. I love it.
If we get what we're looking for out of this legacy liquor, this will secure me and Mark a seat at the table with the greats of this craft. You know, it's going on, God, over a year that me and Mark built a mash, just me and Mark. And honest to Pete, I'd rather never make another run of liquor again than have to make a run of liquor without my best friend, Mark Wayne Ramsey. We gonna charge that thump keg with anything or just let it run?
We can put a little of that mash in if you want to.
Can't hurt.
No. Let me get us a bucket full. On these bottom-fired still pots, we can't take the chance of scorching a grain, so we just put some grain and a little bit of the liquid mash in the thump keg.
That's what we're looking for.
That's what we want. And just infuse it so all the steam that comes over from the pot going into the thump keg, it'll pick up the grain notes even more.
Yeah, that'd be plenty right there, and there's plenty of grain in there.
Yeah, we want to give this every chance in the world to be the best corn whiskey that's ever been.
I just have to tell you, my heart's beating in my chest. I can't wait to run this liquor.
Whoop.
We got a little drip.
Here we go.
It's heating up. It starts running off a little bit. We've pitched just a little bit of heads. There's the first of it a-coming. Hot dog, here we come. Mountain Legacy Corn Whiskey.
Yeah, boy. You know, Puss, one of these days, years from now, I hope there's some really, really good up-and-coming young distillers out there. And, you know, I hope we've influenced them the way some of the old-timers influenced me and you.
Yeah.
You know, one of the funniest fellas we ever got to have any dealings with Jim Tom.
I'm pretty good on this rye whiskey.
Oh, I know, you're the best. We're fortunate enough back in the day, we saved us up some Jim Tom rye, and we have some popcorn Sutton corn liquor put up.
How about that?
You know, occasionally, we'll twist the lid off of one of the jars, and just the smelling and the tasting of it, it brings back a memory of each of those fellas.
Careful. Watch it. Whiskey, 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 come on out. I'm a craving whiskey with my spout. I'm going to drink a drink and sit right down. Imagine I'm in Texas with my gal.
We've got damn near 2 gallons of liquor. I'm a-saying this ought to be dead in the hearts.
Well, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the first taste. I tell you, I just ain't got no words for this. I mean, there's corn, and there's that bread note that barley brings in. Then it finishes corn again, but it's so friggin' sweet on the finish.
It's not pretentious. It's not trying to be something that it's not. It's just Appalachia in a jar, the best you can get it. This truly, truly is our legacy.